On this Wild Woman adventure, we're casting our lines out high above the sea on engineering marvels that have attracted millions of visitors for well over a century and some of the world's most diverse species of fish. Let's ride. Out here in the Florida Keys, bridges run for miles across open water, built in a place shaped by constant wind, shifting current, and long distances. Before any of this existed, there was no way to move between these islands. Reaching Key West meant traveling by boat or steamship. Today, those same stretches are crossed in minutes on bridges that connect the Keys. But none of that happened by chance. It started with one idea and one person behind it, Henry Flagler, a co-founder of Standard Oil alongside John D. Rockefeller, and one of the most influential businessmen in the United States. He didn't just see Florida as it was, he saw what it could become. Before reaching the Keys, Flagler had already expanded rail lines, built hotels, and helped turn coastal areas into destinations. But he wanted to go beyond that, all the way to Key West. Doing that meant building across long stretches of open water. And part of that work began here. We're at Windley Key Fossil Reef Geological State Park, one of the places where stone was cut for the Overseas Railroad. And now I've come down to the bottom of the quarry and I can see how big of a span it really is here and the depth and elevation that they really took to make the Overseas Railway. This is all fossilized coral from 125,000 years ago. You can see all different kinds of species. You can see all the mollusks, all the clams. So the bit of the drill came down into this fossilized coral, which you can only imagine how hard it was going all throughout this rock right here. Really, really cool. And can't believe that was something they did in the early 1900s. Pretty amazing. Just a really cool example of how long these cut out pieces of coral have been here from the times of Henry Flagler. Getting it out of the ground took force, precision, and labor. But this quarry was only one source of fill for the railroad. And the work here took more than material. It meant living and working far from the mainland. I have just boarded the Pigeon Key Express, and we're hitting the bridge at this very moment on our way to Pigeon Key Island, a small piece of land surrounded by open ocean. And for a time, a place where workers built their lives while the railroad took shape around them. This wasn't somewhere where crews rotated in and out. They stayed, months at a time, far from the mainland, with no separation between work and everything else. They didn't come alone. Wives, children, entire households established here because of the job. There were 211 people on the island. That is wild. Kids along the shoreline watching sections of track and bridge come together, while nearby men work through heat and humidity in conditions that left little room for error. Piece by piece, the railroad pushed farther across the water. And by the time work was done, what had taken shape across the Keys became one of the longest continuous spans ever built for a railroad. To learn more about the 128 miles of railway, I'm stepping back in time here at the Sails to Rail Museum in downtown Key West. It's a small place. What's inside carries weight. Photographs of a railroad that once stretched across the Keys, sections of a track that carried trains south, remnants of something that, at a time, pushed beyond what seemed possible. What they built was considered one of the greatest engineering achievements in the world. The Overseas Railroad, often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world. But it didn't last. In 1935, the Labor Day hurricane moved through the Keys, one of the most intense storms ever recorded in the United States. In a matter of hours, everything they had built was torn apart. Large portions of the railroad were destroyed. Hundreds of people, many of them workers, lost their lives. Today, there's a memorial where they are still remembered. After that storm, the railroad was never rebuilt. What came next carried that route into a different era. The path that once carried trains was adapted and built upon, becoming the Overseas Highway. Still, those early structures weren't built to last forever. Years of exposure to salt and constant use started to take a toll. So new bridges were built alongside the old ones, stronger, wider, and built for modern conditions. For a time, both stood together, one from a different era, and one built for what came next. Eventually, the newer bridges took over, replacing spans that had linked these islands for decades. What once demanded planning, time, and risk became routine. But the spans didn't just change travel. They transformed how people used the water around them. They put some of the best fishing in Florida within reach. Current, structure, and depth create the kind of conditions fish hold to. And over time, people kept coming back for the fishing. Chad spent years on these bridges, learning them, understanding the water. He's a veteran, a family man, someone who's built a following by showing what life around these bridges really looks like.
So that's kind of the really cool special thing is you're going to see all kinds of stuff that you don't have to go all the way out on a fishing charter. You can be right here.
Cobia, I've caught legal black grouper, cubera snapper, hermit, like all of these fish, people go 15, 20 miles out. I've caught them right here. What is so cool about bridge fishing, if you had an idea of going out on a boat and the wind is just howling and you're like, man, I've only got 2 days here. I'm just gonna pick up a 5-gallon bucket, some shrimp, and I'm gonna go bridge fishing. And I might catch me a monster, and maybe I'll catch a couple of things that just keep me entertained, but I have that option.
Oh, they're biting. They're biting. Third mangrove snapper. It's got this beautiful green hue to it. And you gave me really good advice. We'd been on one of the pilings for quite a while, getting bites. My bait was getting stolen, and it was time to switch it up.
Yeah.
And dropped a shrimp right here on another piling.
The very first
and
one.
Just like that.
Just like that. It kind of drops in the water column, it pops up. I'm gonna drop this shrimp right on the piling where we have some activity. This is my piece. This is like my getaway. It's everything. So catching or not catching, just soaking in the sun, just being out here. I really a lot of times forget a lot of my problems and things that I'm thinking about, but I'm only thinking about fishing when I'm here, which is good.
Which is good.
It's a nice break.
As long as that passion is still lit and I'm like sleepless the night before, I think that's what keeps me up fishing. But I see that as pretty relatable. Like people, they see something that I catch and say, I'm gonna bring my son, I'm gonna bring my uncles. We all share that we just wanna get out here, get away from thinking about work, and just have some great memories, and that's what it's all about, connecting us together when it comes to fishing.
For Chad, the bridge is where the fishing happens. But a day like that doesn't start there. It carries into places like this. Keys Maritime Seafood and Specialty Bait, run by Dina Smart.
I've been going for about 3 years. She's an Army veteran, and we really connected on the fishing tip. Like she was like, what are you catching out there today, Chad? And start getting her cards, and I'll throw it on my story. Make sure you go here. I'll go back and she'll say, hey, this guy said he watched your channel, he came here from that. I'm like, oh, you know, that's what it's all about. And if you're like, you know what, I didn't catch anything, can I get that snapper and some stone crab so I can eat today? She has that too. It's pretty awesome.
The bridges bring people through, and from here, they head back out onto the water. It's just one example of what these bridges support. They help sustain livelihoods throughout the Keys. Places like Robbie's Marina depend on people moving from island to island. This is where fishing, tourism, and local business intersect. I met up with a captain I've known for years who runs 2 operations from the same dock.
I'm Captain Brian McCady. I have 2 businesses here at Robbie's Marina. I've got the Transparency Glass Bottom boat and a 6-pack charter fishing boat named Satisfaction. I'm very fortunate to have my 2 businesses here at Robbie's Marina in Islamora, Florida. Robbie's has actually become one of the absolute staples or mainstays of the tourist economy here in the Florida Keys, all the way from Key Largo to Key West. Pretty much nobody goes to the Keys without swinging into Robbie's. So the number of people that see my boats and could potentially give me an opportunity to get them on the water and show them a wonderful time is just absolutely astounding. We have a wonderful restaurant. The marina is known for the tarpon feeding, which is out of this world. If you've never fed a 150-pound fish by hand, you have got to try it, I'm telling you. And then the t-shirt shop is fantastic. There's all kinds of different things you can see and do. You can kayak, you can rent a boat, you can rent a jet ski, and of course, you can go glass bottom boating or charter fishing. We're going to show you some of the things that we have to offer close to shore around the bridges that have been built by man less than 120 years ago. They are a haven for fish and for sharks and even for turtles. And typically speaking, on a day like this, when the water's nice and clear, we see all of those species, whether we catch them or just view them from afar. And we're going to go out there and see what we can find. So we're going to go right underneath the bridge here, and I want to show you some of this man-made structure from the original Henry Flagler Railroad Bridge. You can see it coming up right now. There's all kinds of habitat here. They're going to hold all these different species that we're looking to catch. When they rebuilt these bridges in the early 1980s, they actually left certain areas where there was a lot of structure on the bottom. They did that on purpose for fishing and whatnot. But right here where we're at, there's actually huge concrete slabs. If I can ever get you out here on a clear water day, we can jump in with our masts and fins, and you can check it out. It's amazing. There's spots where you can swim underneath. There'll be Goliath groupers, there'll be lobsters. Yeah, it's really neat stuff. You don't have to go far from shore in the Keys to have a wonderful time. We've got an amazing fishery and an amazing scenery right here, right off the bridges, right, just 100 yards from shore.
Oh, here we go. A little guy. Ooh, what is that? Ooh,
Oh, wow.
How pretty is that?
Blue runner.
Blue runner? Yeah, look at that.
In addition to my fishing boat, I also have a 30-passenger glass bottom eco tour boat as well. And we go to the reef, primarily Alligator Reef and Chica Rocks, and we show people the wonders of the coral reef that we have here in the Florida Keys. We have one of the few living coral reefs, and when you get on our boat and go out there with us, you're going to see coral, you're going to see fish, you might see some turtles. We have the only night viewing glass bottom boat tour on the planet, and we'll see all the different splendors of what the reef has to offer. We don't go any more than about 4 miles from shore, and we often go by Alligator Lighthouse, which is a main highlight of Islamora that people want to see.
One serves people chasing fish, the other takes visitors out to the reef. 2 different trips, but both depend on people making their way through the Keys and getting out on the water. These bridges help support the work and the businesses that rely on people making their way through the Keys. And all of it traces back to the effort to link these islands. It all started with a way to reach Key West that became the Overseas Railroad. And when the railroad was gone, its path carried on as the Overseas Highway.
What started out as an engineering feat quickly became a way of life here, shaping the communities, the businesses, and the culture that define the Keys. I think I got some here. I'm Christina Wilson, and if it's Florida, it's gotta be wild.